Hey, buddy, welcome back. Devin, the OG, original Grognard, Cindy down, continuing our playthrough of Victory Games' solitaire game of World War II Tank Combat Open Fire. And hopefully we'll be able to get to something a little bit more than what we've done for the last three videos, which is basically shooting at each other and not hitting something. Because part of the point of these videos is to show you how the mechanics work, and where we've gotten really good at showing you how the action turns work and shooting at something, we really haven't gone over what happens when you hit somebody, hit an armored vehicle with armor piercing. So maybe we'll get to that today. Maybe we won't. I don't know what happened with the last 3 or 4 minutes of the last video. I could have swore I put it into a Movie Maker to mesh it in with the rest of the video, and evidently it didn't. So really nothing happened. The M10 shot at the PZ4 a couple times and missed, and yeah, we've seen that before. So anyways, we're going to try to speed up gameplay a little bit here. So into the turn, everything's all done. Actually, we need one last thing. Oh yeah, that's right, don't have to remove the suppression marker because there was no suppression marker to remove. Let's go ahead and jump into initiative or advantage, whatever. Again, black for German, white for ally, for US. 10 and 8, so German action number goes to the 10. And let's see, 10 with initiative 2 is going to be 1 turn advantage because they won the initiative. And 10 for initiative 3 is 1 turn with advantage. So the Germans have got 1 turn advantaged for the Panzer IV and the infantry squad. My 4 tanks, we rolled an 8 for them. So initiative 5 is going to be 2 turn disadvantage. Initiative 4 is going to be 1 turn disadvantage. Initiative 3 is going to be 1 turn disadvantage. And 2 is going to be 1 turn disadvantage. No panic this time. Probably a good thing. Well, not that we've really been running into issues with panic, but, you know, it's something to kind of be aware of when we do it. All right, so next would be a random event. Let's hopefully we don't get the exact same 10, which I believe is actually a new random event. I think we've rolled 11 the last 2 times. So it's mission 1, condition 2, 10, and the random event is none. All right, so we don't have to worry about random event. I have to decide who is using what. What U.S. vehicles are using AP or GP. The M10s are going to be using AP, and I think the Shermans... I think the Shermans are going to use GP. Yeah, I think we'll go GP this time. Again, with the Shermans. All right, so initiative-wise, let's go ahead and look at the initiative track. Start of 2 turns. A is going to get 2 turns disadvantage. So what we're going to do with A, and remember, there's multiple things you can do in the turn, but I think, let's see, we're loaded up with... general purpose rounds, so high explosive. So let's see. Let's take a look at what all we can do, because I don't think we want to shoot this time. We do want to show some other mechanics. So I think we're probably going to move and then maybe shoot after that. But let's take a look how many action points it takes to do different things. So we can perform a sighting, don't want to do that. Fire main gun, don't want to do that. Fire all machine guns, don't want to do that. Move slowly, 2, or move fast, 3, or all crew points. And that is the other thing that I hadn't pointed out, is the tank must be open to move fast. So, all right, so what we're going to do, we've got 5 action points because our crew rating is 5 because we've got 5 crew members. So we got 5 points to play around with. So I think we're going to move slowly. What does that mean? What is our movement from moving slowly? Is it even on here? Actually, I don't even think it's on here. I don't think it's on here at all. Fortunately, we got it listed here. So, movement point allowance, 2 for slow, 4 for fast. So we can go up to 2 movement points to still be slow. If we go 3 to 4, we're going to be moving it fast. So we're going to move it slow. And so Sherman A. Let's see if I can find Sherman A. Which is going to be that guy right there. So he's going to move out. So we're going to go 1 now, since we're getting close to another event marker. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay, so we're not close enough yet. And then let's move right here. That's going to be our 2 movement points. Now we are within 6 hexes of that event, so we're going to have to trigger that event. What is that? That's event 11. Take a look. Mission 1, condition 2, 11. So mission 1, condition 2, event 11, none. All right, so that was kind of easy. There was nothing there. We thought there was something there, but there wasn't anything there. So that gets that done, and yada, yada, yada. All right, so I still have 3 action points left. What do I want to do? I want to drive up on top of that little hill, that little rise right there. I could do that. Let's see, what's the movement for a tank? No, it really doesn't say. Clear building, rough woods, town, smoke. So really, it looks like there is no movement cost to go up a level. And if I get up on the hill, I'll still be able to see. I could shoot at the Panzer IV. Well, no, I can't. Well, yeah, I could, but I'm loaded up with high explosive. I'm not loaded. You know what? Let's go ahead and move slowly. Let's continue moving slowly. And we'll get to right there. And, oh, we're out of arc. We're out of movement arc. So I think what we need to do is we're going to have to swing our turret. What does it cost for us to swing our turret? Is that under movement? I believe that's under movement. That is going to be under movement. So I'd have to move fast, which will call for an accident check. But if I also move fast, I'll at least be able to rotate the entire vehicle. Yeah, all right, let's move fast. Let's make the decision to move fast. So that's an accident check. And what is my driver skill on A? Driver skill on A is an 8. As long as I can roll 8 or less. 5. Okay, so I don't have to worry about any accident. And I should have made that before I started moving. So 1, 2, and then I think rotating for the rotation cost is actually 1 point. So that would have been 3. I can move another point, but I don't want to. But I did move 3 movement points, so I had to go into fast movement. So Sherman's going to end up here, pointed this way. That's going to be it for him. He's going to go down to 2-turn disadvantage. All the way nothing, down to 1 turn. Initiative 5, which is going to be the Sherman again. He's in position. I believe he is actually going to shoot at the Panzer IV. Nope, he's got loaded up with AP. All right, we'll fire at the infantry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hexes to the infantry. And they have a defense of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's see. GP modifiers. They're not clear. They are in paved or dirt road. So it brings it 1 back. Woods, rough, improved town building. Target moving is target is not moving. Bunker. All right, well, that's basically all the modifiers. Let's see. I think the Sherman. Well, let's check just to make sure. The Sherman general purpose rating. Yeah, it's a 7. So we end up on the 2 column. And we're going to go ahead and fire twice because we've got 5 action points. And it costs 2 action points to fire. So the first one, first time shooting, is going to be a 7, which is going to be a suppressed. We'll get a suppressed marker out. And the second fire at them is a 3, which is a panic. So with the panic, the German infantry are going to immediately go into panic. And with suppression, check just to make sure what suppression is for infantry, because it is a little bit different for infantry than it is for armored vehicles. Fire combat. Fire modifiers. Damage, AP damage results, GP damage results. All right, suppression. Let's see. Suppress units cannot initiate, cannot prepare, hitch. Okay, I could have swore there was something about panic. All right. Nothing there, but under panic, they're subject to 14.2, so let's check what 14.2 is. Yeah, that's just panic result. All right. So really, I mean, I got to get some high numbers to be able to even just get a kill. Yeah. To be even able to get a kill on the infantry. So, but let's go ahead and put the suppression marker on the half squad. And that is going to be all of A's action, so he's going to be complete. Now we're going to move on to B. I think B, shooting at the infantry is not going to do any good. 1, 2. They'll do what A did the first time, so they'll start off by moving slow, which will give them 2 movement points to right there. And then for their next action, because they still have 3 action points left, they're going to drive fast. So let's go ahead and look at what D's drive skill is. It is a 7. So as long as I roll a 7 or less. 3, okay, they're fine, no accident. They're going to go 1, 2, and then 3 to rotate. And that's going to be their entire action. So B's going to be complete. Next in line is M, which is the German Panzer IV. And they are now in B mode. Because you remember they were originally in S. Well, they started off in S. Or no, they started off normally. Drove forward to get into close assault. From close assault, went to surrendered. From surrendered, now they're in broken status, as the paragraphs designated last time. And if they're broken, there's only one paragraph for them to read. It's 901. It doesn't matter what the dice roll is. 901, which is, I'm sure, continue skedaddling. Rotate in hex until facing easiest target towards the west map edge, then drive fast along easiest and best route towards the west map edge. Fire all available weapons at nearest U.S. target. Put special reaction B in effect for this German. Well, it's already in effect. So, all right, so drive fast. We got to roll to see if they cause themselves an accident, because they are driving fast. And the unit's drive skill is a 7. Okay, so 7, so they're fine. So they are going to move fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're out of line of sight now. So I'm just going to take the turret marker off just for convenience sake. I have a feeling we're probably not going to get in line of sight to shoot at them anymore. But that's okay. So they're done with their action. D, which is going to be one of the M10s. What's their movement? Their movement is 3-5. So they can go 3 at slow. And they are not loaded with armor piercing. I don't really see any good way to get a line of sight. I mean, to get a line of sight, I'd have to come down here into this rough, so I'm not going to worry about that. Of course, they've only got 4 action points because they've only got a crew rating of 4. So let's go slow movement. So 1, 2, 3. And then the 2 other movement points to continue moving slow as well. For 3 more movement points to move them up on the hill and rotate. So 1, 2. And they technically could move a 3rd one while we're moving slow, but there's no need for them to. So D is done. It goes to completed. Y ended up being panicked, which was German infantry, so they can't do anything. So C is going to basically do what D did as well. So 1, 2, 3 movement points for their first action. Their second action, move up onto the hill and rotate. And that's basically done for them. The German half squad didn't get to do anything because they ended up getting panicked by fire. Can still actually see them, I believe, because these are supposed to be sloping hills. And I don't think... Well, actually, that hill may block line of sight from another hill. Let's take a little quick look. Let's see. If both sighting hexes are at the same elevation, we're not. Building hexes, other blocking terrain. Elevations. If the LOS enters a hex that is a higher level than both sighting, it's not. An LOS can be traced across an elevation without effect, since elevation changes represent smooth slopes rather than drastic fall-offs. So, yes, I believe I am still going to be able to see those guys, just even though it does kind of clip this hex right here. Since these are smooth slopes, and hills basically don't block each other, at least my reading of the rules, I could technically still see them, but, you know, that's only going to affect us for next turn. So, end of the turn, remove suppression markers. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's... Although, we moved to here, we probably should have rolled for this. Because we came within line of sight, but we were beyond 6 hexes. However, I will say, if it's out of line of sight, or if it's in line of sight, but over 6 hexes, it's a -2. And if you're buttoned up, it's another -4. So that's actually a -6. And I think only one of my guys has got a perception. Yeah, vehicle A is the only vehicle that could have rolled a perception for it to even have a chance, and they need a 1. I'll just do it now. Yeah, 10. No, so they don't. They do not spot that, but that hex could still activate. And you remember, how you check for activation is you take a look at the condition, and that gives the activation number. So we're in condition 2, activation level 6. So if we roll a 6 or less, the hex will activate on its own anyways, because we came within line of sight of it. 9, doesn't worry about it. I should also probably roll for that one, because when I moved there, I also came within line of sight of it. All right, so again, I should have done this when A was moving, but I didn't. So again, it's over 6 hexes away, -2 perception test. I'm buttoned up, it's -4 perception test. Again, A is the only one that has a chance to see it. Oh, wow. He actually did spot it. All right, what is that? That's event 15. So 15 in condition 2. Mission 1, condition 2, 15, random event. All right, so we roll for random event. And we have a 15. Weren't we just there? Yes, we were. So, 15, random event, 941. Let's go ahead and, well, let's leave that there just for a little bit. Crap, what did I say? 951? 941. Go to the paragraph book, 941. One German unit that moved last round has run out of gas. If more than one German unit moved last round, determine which unit is effective at random. Put special reaction G into effects for this German. If in rounds and there is no active within 4 hexes, or if in rounds and there is an active unit. So, okay, well, that just keeps getting worse for the Germans. So, the German vehicle as it was driving. I should have focused that a little bit. For some reason, I don't know why it doesn't autofocus, but it is what it is. So they are now out of fuel, and they are in special condition G, which can't be really that bad or even worse for them. Yeah, maybe. All right, so that's random effects, so that goes away. So yeah, when you're moving in actions around, you just kind of got to be aware. I think I'm actually in. I think I'm in line of sight. No, ruffle block there. And what about there? Really gotta check for hill line of sight. You'd think that hill line of sight, even being easy. Okay. Huh. Well, you know what? I'm going to say that line of sight is not to here, basically, because we've got these two hills right here in between. I'm not going to spend that long looking through the rules for it, so I'm not going to, I'm not that worried about it. Are there any other... I mean, I guess technically I'm in line of sight there. And it's over 6 hexes away. Yeah, so I should probably roll for that one as well. So, all right, if you're moving during rounds, this is where you kind of got to pay attention to your line of sight. So, rolling. Again, I'm going to need a 1. 6, nothing. It could still activate. Again, condition hasn't changed. Condition 2, so I need a 6 or less, and that will still activate on its own. 5, that activates on its own. Now, if it's a German unit, I would not score points for it, victory points for it, if we were playing using the campaign rules, because it's self-activated. But, so let's take a look. Mission 1, condition 2. Oh, now there we go. Mission 1, Condition 2, Event 7, none. So, bunch of things out here just a little bit less exciting than Ambush. And honestly, I think this may be our final playthrough because we're not getting a lot of action and activity out of it. I may go over... Yeah, I mean, it just I like the game system. I like the combat system. I really do. I like this for this moving track for the modifiers to get your final to hit number. I'm not really a fan of the exact system itself. There's no tension, really. There's no suspense. In the regular in Ambush, every time you moved into a new hex, you checked for something new to happen. So you were always sitting on the edge of your seat. So you knew, all right, you really had to worry about, all right, do I want to move this guy from here, from this building, through this open thing, to another building? Because, again, you checked every hex. In this one, the tension is gone because you know exactly where the activation, where something is going to happen. And if it's during operations, you can really set yourself up in optimal condition, kind of like what I did. I came around, I wanted to activate these guys right here, which ended up being these units, and I was able to put myself in a perfect position, or what I considered a perfect position, without having to worry about any surprises happening. There just really isn't any surprises in this game. You know where the events are going to be. Now, I get it. It's really easy when you have one mission card for all the scenarios, because you only got 20 events, 25, maybe even 30 events in a scenario that you have to worry about rather than every hex. Okay, I get that. From a design standpoint, that is much easier. But it takes away so much of the suspense that was in the original Ambush system. Takes a lot of work away from the player. But, I just got to say, I'm not really happy, and I'm not really feeling these event markers. And I think that's kind of sinking my passion for wanting to play this. But like I said, I love this track. I would love to see this track with these modifiers and the different to hits at the different ranges in other systems. I just really enjoy that. It's just it's kind of a minor part of the system when the major part of the system, it just doesn't feel like Ambush. I know it's supposed to be an Ambush gamette or an Ambush style game, but like I said, when you know where the events are, it kind of takes the fun out of it. And you know, it's just, and plus it's evidently really hard to hit somebody when you're on the move. So yeah, I think we're probably going to cut it right here. Primarily because, again, for the last 4 videos, we've been shooting at each other and we've not really been doing anything, and I haven't shown you any new mechanics. Really, the only other new mechanics is what happens when you hit somebody. And basically, I mean, I'll just go through and I'll explain it real quick. When you hit somebody, if you're firing at the front, the side, or the rear, and then closed or open, you just roll a percentile. So if you're firing at this M10 at the front who's closed, you roll a 72. It's going to be right here. And then you compare what your penetration value is, which is the penetration value determined by where you started off on here. A D10, yeah, the penetration value plus a D10 plus your weapon skill. Now, see, that's where your weapon skill comes into play. So, like, my Sherman A has got a weapon skill, what, +2? Yeah, +1. So if he'd have fired at somebody, and say he'd have hit, well, let me grab it. Had I hit the Panzer IV, let's find the Panzer IV. No, that's the truck. Where's the Panzer IV? All right, Panzer IV. So say the U.S. is firing at the Panzer IV at, let's say it was at 7 hexes, and you know the base penetration at 7 hexes is an 11. All right. So where are we hitting? Say we're firing at the front, and he's closed. So let's go ahead and roll. So we got a 39, because you're running percentile. So 39 closed is going to be this column right here. And, okay, so now we have to find out what the effect is. So we had the penetration value of 11 plus a D10, which is 5. So that's 16, plus the weapon skill of 1 for 17. And then, so you look at the column that you rolled on. 17 is a light penetration. So the Sherman achieved a light penetration against it. So what does that mean? You go to the rule book to find out what the exact damage result of a light penetration against an armored vehicle is. AP damage results. All right, so I'll just go ahead and show you all these. These are all the different possible results you can get. Reduce crew by 1, reduce crew by 2, reduce movement point by allowance by 1, reduce movement point allowance to 0, KO machine gun, KO main gun, killed, special reaction S, initiative check, but where is the light penetration? Damage, AP... Where is light damage or light penetration? Note that the cumulative effect. Note the cumulative effects. Not cumulative. Well, what the hell? I thought I had this right. So what would be? Is there? Oh, yeah, right here. AP fire damage results table. All right, light penetration, and it was the hull. I believe we hit. Yeah, because it really doesn't say. I mean, you take a look. Front to the facing. What do the different columns mean? I'm guessing the first one is wheels, hull, and then turret, because 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 lined up like that. But then there's open. But the open result is going to be a crew kill or an area hit. All right. So, anyways, so light penetration. I'm going to assume light penetration, since we rolled on the 6 to 66, would be hull, light penetration, hull, reduce crew by 1. There you go. And then so you just cross reference. So it's not a bad combat system. I like the track. Really like the track. But just the rest of the game falls kind of short. I had high hopes for this going into it because, I love the original Ambush, but this one's just not doing it for me, folks. So, again, the point of my videos is these are not videos to teach you how to play. Although if you get rules out of it, even with as often as I screw the rules up, if you get rules out of it, great. I think that's super. I appreciate that. But mainly it's me trying to show the mechanics of the game so you can make your decision on your own if this is something you want to pursue to pick up on your own. I've given my vote. I mean, I like one aspect of it. It's just the bulk of it I'm not that much of a fan of. So that's what we got. Coming up, stuff. Probably... Let me take a look over at my table or my bookshelf over there, my recently acquired stuff. Silverton, maybe eventually at some point in the future, but I think we're probably going to do Sword in the Stars, which is right there. Sword of the Stars. It's obviously space game. SPI. 1970 something. So yeah, I think that's what the next project is gonna be. I definitely gotta get back to my second season football. My problem with second season football is it's just taking me too long to do the plays, too long to do the turns. I think I know what I need to do to shorten it down. Because, as it stands now, it's taking me 45 minutes to get through a quarter. That's too long for me to record a game, If I can get a game in an hour, hour and a half, all right, fine. But 3 hours to do? No, that's just too long to do a game. So I'm looking for ways to cut down how long it takes me. I think the fast action deck is going to help. Not worrying about keeping track of stats is another one. And I think I'm probably going to get rid of the football, the actual pitch, and just, jot everything down on a piece of paper, 3rd and 3 from the 32 and, not worry about. Now, granted, it might be a little less exciting for y'all to watch because you're not watching me move the ball up and down the pitch. But really, when when there's other sports games out there like Stratomatic, you don't really worry about placing the guys on first base, second base, or whatever. You just roll it and, do the little notations on the baseball chart for, if they strike out, walk, or, get first, second, third, whatever. So looking for ways to try to speed up the gameplay for that. Definitely want to get back to doing some Operation Sea Lion and some Battlefront World War II. I think a buddy of mine, Ron Juckett from Retro Sports Network, wants to do some Civilization 6. He wants to stream some of that. So that technically won't be on my channel, but you will be seeing it pop up. I'll post it on my Facebook. And if you haven't joined the Facebook group, you probably should get over there and join the Facebook group. Because like I said, there are things that happen there that don't really... If you want to know all what's going on with the OG, then you have to be part of the Facebook group as well. And like last Wednesday, Al, Red Sox fan, good friend of the channel, he and I sat down for like 2 hours and he wanted to talk Operation Market Garden. He really wasn't that knowledgeable of it. So he and I sat down and I shared the link of that on my Facebook. So if you want to see Ron and I talking Operation Market Garden, go check that out. We plan on doing more of those in the future. Once a week, once every other week, something like that. So that's all I got, boys and girls. That's been it. Up front, Victory Games, 1988. Solitaire Tank Combat in World War II. Kind of got to give this one a thumbs down. I don't do that very often. I don't like to, but it is what it is. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms in the comments section. I'll see everybody next time. See ya!